Hero Class Civil Warfare by Rogue Druid. Chapter 16 Burning Away the Chaff. Day 2, 0 hours, 2 minutes, 12:02 a.m. local time. I hate this plan, Sen muttered, slowly twisting his legs as he focused on the trailing Shiozaki. He would only really get one shot at this. So do I, but let's do it. Be safe. Usetsu returned, eyeing the next block and where he had to go. Ibara pushed harder, growing her vines faster and larger. After her humiliating defeat in the sports festival, she was going to prove herself. Before her team's patrol, she had spent the better part of an hour at one of the only plots of plant life in the city, growing the infrastructure to make her vines longer and stronger. Then these two showed up, Kaibara and Awase, better known as the class jokers. Awase was rude and uncouth, constantly vulgar as he taunted and insulted his opponents. While far calmer, Kaibara was disrespectful and apathetic towards those around him, not to mention openly heretical, as evidenced by several very loud, very pointed debates he had started with her. Both had mocked her Christian leanings in their own way, and she had no plans to let them escape her grasp during this exercise. She focused, the closing distance back to the park making her vines grow stronger, and as she pushed herself faster and farther. Sen brought up his gun again, and with a newly practiced motion, a swift weaving of vines flowed before her and her companions. But the thud and splatter of the bullets never came. Instead, a hissing sound reached her. She glanced up, the vines loosening to let her see, only for Kaibara to go crashing through, kicking her back with a surprised gasp as his boots made contact through the vines. His gas mask shone with blue, baleful eyes, gazing through the dark of the night. In each hand was a pair of pulled grenades, smoke pouring out and wreathing him like a demon of hell and brimstone. One was deep black and thick, the other a noxious green-blue glowing in the streetlights, the scent of it making her tear up and choke. Tear gas of some sort. No! She shoved him back, trying to get him away, but he simply dropped the grenades, making her gasp and stagger as the vines pulled her and her allies back. In the corner of her eye, she could see Kamakiri swipe his hand, a blade growing from his arm to swipe the grenade's smoke clear. From above the path of the blade, Kaibara leapt in once more, body twisted and contorted as he used his strange quirk. He leapt off one vine to another and then shoulder-checked Sato, the sugar eater grunting and stumbling back as he reached for a dose of sugar. With a twisting motion, Kaibara was behind him and pulling his gun, placing it against the underside of Sato's head, keeping his jaw closed and pointing a second gun at Kamakiri and Ibara. Catching themselves, both heroes froze, glancing at each other and tensing. Now, let's hold up and relax a minute, or you may just lose another teammate. Mina pointed a fist at the remains of the wall where they sizzled on the floor. With a hiss, the back of her gauntlet released a faint spray that seemed to congeal and solidify the mess. With that done, Reiko stepped past carefully and plugged the wireless connector May had given her into the server that sat blinking in the room. Understood. Head to provide potential support to Slate and Smuggler. Moving to the West District now. The two girls trooped back down the stairwell. Reiko's arms went pale, letting her quickly pass from floor to floor by oversized, glowing blue translucent arms. while Ashido slid down the stairwell on a stream of acid. Saruhanta crouched under the spinning staff of Hononuki Juzo. Leaping off another desk in the office he and the skeletal villain were stuck in. The sound of thuds and Uraraka and Subaraba's cursing echoed as they fought with Kendo on the other side of the room. Uraraka had tried using her quirk, but zero gravity and giant fists had been a bad experience, so she had swapped to relying on Gunhead's training. Subaraba had tried to get a few shots in, popping shields or blowing spears of air, but Kendo was more than strong enough to shatter his air constructs. The floor around Hononuki shifted and melted once more. The desk Hanta was standing on shifting as the villain lunged, staff spinning around for another strike. Hanta had managed to stick him with tape a few times, but Hononuki simply softened and then ripped the bands apart. He had resorted to this game of keep away and tossing bits of furniture at Hononuki in the hopes to knock him off guard. Hanta's tape yanked him towards the ceiling and at Hononuki as the staff passed beneath him before the swinging hook came around and caught his knees. Yelping as he was twisted and all but thrown across the room, Hanta came rolling up on his feet, only for Hononuki to kick a broken chair, one of the earlier weapons Sero had tossed at him, at the tape hero's face. Hanta brought his arms up to block the impact, only for Hononuki to kick him back and to the ground. Hanta tried to brush himself up when the ground beneath him seemed to shift and give and his hands went through the now soft floor. Team Gamma is awake and soon to head inbound. Team Delta is moving southeast to support Beta. Keep them there and off guard. Rolling his eyes, Hanta grunted and pulled his hands out of the soft floor before it could harden, leaping up and at Hononuki once more, only for a weightless Uraraka to be sent crashing into him from behind. Hononuki leapt back, skipping as he ran a hand along the ceiling, making the roof sag in and droop like taffy, long lines of material hardening between the two of them and him. "Easier said than done, HQ," Subaraba called back over the comms, just before Kendo closed in and smashed him back and out of the office into the halls. Todoroki and his brute squad are heading southeast. Hold up and graffiti. You have maybe a few minutes to get clear. Nightmare, be ready to support once the truck gets to you. Yusetsu grinned and hit the brakes, the truck skidding to a stop. With Sen distracting the team, Shiozaki had let up on her control, which meant that the park was open. The patch of green had overgrown, massive twisting vines stretching out of the ground and across the street and buildings around it. Larger vines grew as tall as adult trees, trailing off in Shiozaki's direction. Slamming the door open, Yusetsu hefted the 4 fused together flame grenades he got from Sen. With a solid pull, he ripped the cord fused through the pins. 3. He cocked his hand back, holding the bundle from the end of the cord. The other end fused with the bundle itself. The 4 pins jingled from where they stayed on the line. 2. With a final spin for speed, he let it fly above the park, the entire unstable hunk of explosives wobbling and twisting as it went high. "Burn, bitch!" Then there was fire. Like a spinning top, waves of the flaming chemical compound splashed out of the fused grenades, scattering across the center of the park as the building bundle hit the ground. Grinning to himself, Yusetsu watched as the vines, barely sustainable by Shiozaki with the resources of the park, went up like dry kindling. Running to the truck, Yusetsu popped back in the driver's seat. "Sen, coming back now. Bitch's park is burning, so I give her 30 seconds before exhaustion or panic kicks in." So, Shiozaki, I'm quite amazed you got your vines so large. You used a park or something, yeah? She growled, vines thrashing around her as she and Kamakiri stepped in different directions, trying to flank Kaibara. Sato was growling lowly, still stuck with the gun pressed on his chin. I did. By nature's grace, me and my vines have grown strong. Sen listened, the faint roar of the engine revving as it came back. He spoke up to cover the sound, laughing. Really? I wonder, how does fire affect your Garden of Eden? He glanced between and behind the two of them pointedly, and Shiozaki gasped, turning. Across several blocks, the faint glow of the wildfire that Awase had started was already visible in the night. The truck came back, drifting in a wide curve out of a side street so the back of the truck faced the standoff. Sen took advantage of everyone looking away. He pulled the triggers. Sato roared in pain, his neck and lower jaw turning red. Shiozaki shrieked, 4 red patches appearing with wet lumps across her back. However, Kamakiri, when Sen tried for the triple, simply lashed out. The red splashes blasted away with crisscrossing slashes of blades. Sen turned and ran, spinning with his quirk to dodge a razor-sharp blade from a suddenly very spiky and very angry-looking Kamakiri who charged after him. He was getting closer, and Sen was stuck dodging the rapid-fire slashes and piercing lunges, darting past them even as they gave him almost no free room to maneuver. He got clipped, the tip of a blade carving across the face of his body armor and leaving Sen spinning off balance as Kamakiri reached for him. Then a rapid hiss-click sound echoed. The hero was now coated with several splotches of red across his side and face. The incredulous-looking hero jerked his head to the side, Sen following suit. There was Yusetsu, leaning out of his broken passenger window, an SMG variant of the RG gun still pointed at the hero. Get in, fucker, we're going shopping. With a laugh at the mangled quote, Sen waved at the now killed hero team, before leaping to the truck and swinging into the bed once more. See ya, bitches! Good time playing with you! With a sigh, the 3 dead heroes sat and waited. In their ears, they could hear Ectoplasm saying he would have a clone there in a minute to escort them back to the observer station. And that there were rooms they could sit and wait in, if they wished. They couldn't even call up the base with an update since they were all considered dead and automatically locked out of the hero comms. Shit! I just lost Beta. Delta, hurry to intercept. Todoroki breathed deep, his team sliding alongside him on an iced-over path over the roofs as he closed in on his target. He had known from the first day that this would not be an easy fight. But even he had not been ready to face Midoriya as the kingpin. Regardless, to succeed, they needed to begin taking out Midoriya's allies. If they were so dangerous that he needed to do it himself, then he would. Two days before the exam, Izuku watched the speeding truck as it raced around the lot. Finding out that UA had a closed racing track was a surprise, but May explained it was part of the third-year curriculum for dealing with vehicles, and for the support class, a place to test vehicle designs. Izuku could name a dozen famous heroes with vehicles: Gearhead, Rotoscope, Drift King, and more. Having a driving class makes sense. As it was, 4 of the villains had proven to be skilled drivers in some way or another. Yusetsu was the best, with experience with trucks and vans from his family job. Behind him in the ranks were Mei, who had tested a few vehicles, Momo, who learned a few months ago, and interestingly enough, Izuku himself. Honestly, it wasn't like it was hard, just spatial awareness, reflexes, and memorization. It was actually quite relaxing. After spending the past few days drilling combo attacks and basic strategies, this was a good chance to rest and unwind, though Mei did mention teaching him a different control layout. He bet it had to do with the new project she was working on yesterday. All he knew was that it was coming along fast, using a lot of the pre-made parts she had access to, and Momo and Nato were helping her. Hey guys, it's Tempe. Thank you for getting this far. I really enjoyed reading this fanfiction and I wanted to share it with you. So many people wrote their own takes on how the Civil War for AU would go down, but I enjoyed this one specifically. So if you enjoyed this as much as I did, please consider giving me a like, comment, or subscribing. If you have any suggestions that you would like me to read, please leave a comment or send it to the email in the description. That's everything, so I will see you in the next one. Bye!